I can do this, and look, there are phones on this table here. So that's kind of cool. Oh, I just need to move my monitor so I can still see the chat. All the things you don't take into consideration when you don't do multi-camera very often. But yeah, so like I've got a OnePlus 10, I've got a OnePlus 8, I've got a OnePlus 9, I've got this really beautiful Vivo 9 Pro. This is still like one of my favorite phones of 2022, and I just shocking how we don't get these types of phones here in America. But then I also do have the Pixel here too, because I think it's kind of interesting to look at what the Pixel does well. This is, Android 13, and you can see like the big bubbles. So you pull down your notification shade, you get these huge toggles. It's a list of like 8 individual toggles and a little bar at the top. This is material design. Google, this is what they're putting on the Pixel. It's very big, it's very bubbly, and to me it looks a little like LCARS. Like a Google engineer has been watching way too much Star Trek, and they thought, hey, we could make something that legit looks like a Star Trek computer. I'm getting that kind of sense. I'm getting that kind of vibe. So I just wanted to show this off. Oh, it would help if I had these phones on. On and unlocked. So I just rebooted that. Oh, I got like a little schmutz on the screen. And if we're looking at the Vivo 9 Pro, this is now running Android 13, and there's very little to suggest that Android 13 is on this, except I will say animations seem a bit more fluid, but I always hate doing that when I'm a reviewer, or when you're in a forum or on a subreddit and someone's like, yeah, I just got the new update. It runs so much sleeker and smoother now. The update is just running so smooth. I guess. You know what I mean, though? It's like people say like the update is running better, but it's just sort of that it's new and fresh and everyone's excited that they got an update. So the 9 Pro, when you boot it up after installing Android 13, you just get the little Android notification, oh, your update has been completed. And there's very little that's functionally different. So the Vivo 9 Pro is running a flavor of Android called Fun Touch. And when you pull your notification shade, you still see the old little bubbles. So there are 12 icons in my notification shade as opposed to 8 icons on my Pixel. They have my favorite version of the brightness slider where you, in the notification shade, can toggle auto brightness. It kills me. It's one of the things that is most lacking on the Pixel is I want to be able to turn on auto brightness from my notification shade and not have to go into the phone settings. But then going into the phone settings, it's exactly like it was on Android 12. All of the customizations, all of the differences, the skin that's applied, Vivo calls this Fun Touch, but it's actually one of the least fun skins on a smartphone today. It is actually one of the more straightforward Android skins that's available today. Even into your multitasking view, you get very simple buttons and toggles just to like close out running apps. This is actually a little stark, but it feels like Android 11. It doesn't feel like Android 12 material design. It definitely doesn't feel like Android 13 in pixel design. This is very minimalistic. It is buttery smooth, it is lightning quick, it is hyper responsive. This is a performance platform, and it kind of gets out of your way. So by comparison, I want to show, actually, let me see if I can show this on the OnePlus 10. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that right there. Hold on 1 second, I just gotta cough, and I don't want to cough on the mic. Oh, Bray Gray, I'm really happy to hear that. Bray says, as a UX designer, this is the stuff that fascinates me, LOL. I love getting into this stuff, but I am not learned enough to really contribute well. So we have Android 13 on the OnePlus 8 Pro, the OnePlus 9 Pro, which is the best phone that OnePlus has ever made. But I want to show this off on the OnePlus 10 Pro, as that's the current phone, which would go up against the iQOO. The iQOO 9 Pro and the OnePlus 10 Pro are cousins. They share a lot of tech guts. The OnePlus 9 Pro and the OnePlus 10 Pro is just what we get here in the United States. But now we have this newest version of what they're calling Oxygen, but it's not. We know it's not really the old Oxygen OS. The old Oxygen OS was garbage and no one should like it. So, oh wait, I'm gonna log in. I don't want everybody to see my super secret PIN. My PIN number. So, on the Vivo, you upgrade to Android 13 and it just takes you into your phone. On the OnePlus, now we get, hello, your system has been updated. Some agreements and statements vary slightly from those in the previous version. Please read and agree to them. So this is a little Apple-y, the way that it greets you with re-signing your end user licensing agreement and getting back into the phone. J-Man, that's hilarious. That's the same code I use on my luggage. 1, 2, 3, 4. So hold on, let me hit next. So no, legal information, I'm gonna agree to the user agreement. I'm gonna see user privacy, security, and protection. But these optional, the user experience program and the stability improvement program, I'm gonna say, no, you don't have to send my data to OnePlus if something crashes. I'll send in a bug report. I do that, but I don't want you just siphoning data directly out. So I'm gonna hit next. Now Oxygen OS, get started. We're gonna get started and it takes us into our home screen. And again, we don't see a whole lot that's functionally different here. But this is using a new animation engine. I forget what OnePlus has called it, but I'll pull up the OnePlus update notes. We can kind of talk through that. Again, super fluid. This actually kind of functions a little bit like that Vivo, like the iQOO 9 Pro. I don't have to worry about cloning a device. This is super sleek, it's buttery smooth, and these animations are cranked to the maximum. I really believe a lot of Android phones don't fully sustain 60 frame per second animations, and now OnePlus is doing transitions and animations that I think better complement 120 frames per second. It's the one thing I loved, because I've already been using this on the OnePlus 9 Pro. When you flick up your app drawer, the momentum of how the app drawer scrolls feels different in how it responds to where your finger is actually moving on the device. It's really nice. It is very clean, it is very sleek. But when I was going through the iQOO settings, nothing looked any different. I want to show here, now our notification shade is a lot different. So the notification shade on the OnePlus 10 Pro, it pulls lower. So you go through your notifications, then you pull again, and we still have the smaller little bubble toggles for, like controlling your Bluetooth or firing your flashlight. There's still the little circles, and we still have auto control. Come on. Oh, do we not still have? I thought we still had auto control. So the brightness doesn't seem to actually have auto control. Maybe it's different on the OnePlus 9. I thought I still had it. Anyway. Sorry, I got distracted. When you control the brightness, I do like that it throws you back to your home screen so you can see how bright your screen really is. But the little toggles are still little circles. We still have 12 icons, not 8 like we have on the Pixel. But above that, we have a larger bubble icon for Wi-Fi. We have a larger bubble icon for the SIM card. I don't have my SIM in the OnePlus 10 Pro. This is a nice upgrade over Android 12 because I hate how Android 12 lumped together Wi-Fi and your cell phone data. So OnePlus has split those apart. So now you can control your Wi-Fi separate of your SIM card. You don't tap on one, then go in and tap on your Wi-Fi. It's all right there. And then there's also just a little bubble widget for whatever's playing. So it's got a now playing, it's not playing anything, so it says not playing, but you can control your media directly from your notification shade right here at the top of the screen. This is gorgeous. This is like the best of both worlds. We've got some of those modular elements for controlling lifestyle features that we have on the Pixel. The screen brightness just plummeted. Why did it do that? All right, sorry about that. We have that, but then also we have the smaller little bubble icons from Android 11. So it's a better use of space, but it's also better laid out. So you have more room. You have more room for all these activities. But then I just want to go into our actual settings. And immediately at the top of settings, we also get these kind of consumer hand-holding little widgets. So experience true-to-life haptic feedback. We have control over haptics right at the top. Image sharpener, enhance the definition of low-quality pictures and videos. And then emoji. I'm not a huge fan of like animated emojis, but OnePlus has this little engine where you can make an emoji as unique as you are. Or flexible windows. There's a consumer tutorial on how to use floating windows on the OnePlus 10 Pro, or the one-handed mode if you want to shrink the screen. These little tutorials are super handy. So this wasn't in Android 12, it definitely wasn't in Android 11, but you fire up your OnePlus 10 Pro and there are these immediate settings at the top that are sort of fresh, they're new for OnePlus, things that you can do to kind of personalize and get more use out of your phone. I really like this. We do actually have a few updates to the iQOO 9 Pro for how the phone functions and some of the fun stuff and the game performance, stuff like that. The phone isn't telling you that you have those enhanced features or enhanced capabilities. The OnePlus 10 Pro is giving us some really sharp little toggles in our settings so that once you've set up the phone, you see that it's on Android 13, you can see a bunch of things have kind of changed. You can go in and you've got handy tutorials on how to set all this stuff up. It's at once out of the way because it's in settings. It's not like it's all showing up in my notification shade and taking up room and just becoming noise in my notifications, but it's accessible for people who might want to dig a little deeper. This is the right place to put that stuff. And then I just like showing it off because we got this on Android 12, but it's this great little sleek slide maneuver. So wherever you're holding the phone, if you slide on the edge of the screen, it shrinks all of the icons on your home screen so that you can quickly go to a folder or go to an app and you can launch that app. And especially for that one-hand use, this is actually, I think, a nicer direct, clean, simple interaction for people that might have some accessibility issues, like how you hold the phone, how you manipulate the phone, how you work with the phone. And there is, come on. Oh, no, do it. So we also have a little side sense menu, same thing. There's a much higher focus on one-handability on the OnePlus 10, now running Android 13. So I'm not sad that Oxygen is gone, because a lot of this stuff is coming from ColorOS. We can complain about the Oppoification of the OnePluses, but this stuff is better. A little side panel, just like on a Samsung phone, you can put shortcuts, you can quick launch, the actions are super, super clean. If you're on your home screen, you've got this great accessibility control where you can slide menus very, very quickly so you can get to the apps. You don't have to go one-handed mode. You can slide all the apps that way. The performance has been stonking good. So using it all the way back to the Snapdragon 865 on my OnePlus 8, which, hold on, let me get this turned on too. Hello! I had to nuke my OnePlus 8, so it's gonna go through all the setup here again too. But I got to play with it for a bit, then I had to reflash it. This is really good. This is really good. On my OnePlus 9. Come on. Oh, hello! So again, it's kind of interesting. We're running the gamut now. I very much believe when my Sony finally gets Android 13, what we're gonna see is something very similar to just the sort of stock material design on the Pixel. I don't think Sony is gonna put much of any work into the UI because they're doing a lot of work with their custom apps and custom software. Bridging the gap, we've got a phone like the Vivo, which still feels mostly like Android 11. This doesn't feel like a Pixel in the slightest. These two phones are very different in terms of layout, organization, performance, how they animate, how they do pixel level and detail blurring, how all of this stuff functions. This actually feels like an older phone. It's gonna be more familiar to folks running Android 10 and Android 11. And then you move up to, or I shouldn't say you move up, you move over to the cousin of the iQOO, and you get this OnePlus 10 Pro, which is kind of splitting the difference. It's working a little like an Oppo, it's working a little like a classic OnePlus, and it has a few of the design elements that are kind of interesting coming into Android 13 on the Pixel. This is good. This is great. This is competition. You have different devices that deliver different pros and cons, different strengths and weaknesses, and the UI is going to appeal to different folks, but they're all extremely high performance compute platforms. They just do different things than the competition. We should definitely be celebrating how even from the same sort of global organization, these are sort of BBK part spins between iQOO and OnePlus. They share a lot of tech bits. They share a lot of DNA. They feel like significantly different kinds of devices. And even that to me is super exciting when we even get that kind of, I want to say like bifurcation. That's way too complicated a word, but that kind of difference, even when they're sort of in a similar family of products. So I'm going to take it back here. I've been seeing a whole bunch of comments, and I apologize that my setup for screen for my top-down camera isn't as good at reading through some of those comments. So let's catch up on comments here, and we can kind of use that to start closing out the show.